That's a tinkerer. So, spent all this time talking about tinkering. Let's tinker. Let's stop talking about it and doing it. So I am going to pull up some code. Now, usually in the crowd, I have some kids, and I love having kids in there because that's who I really want to get through to. And I show them a game, okay? And the way I show them this game is I've labeled it Secret Game. I'm going to open it with a text editor so you can see the code. So this is, looks like, I'll just leave that there. Okay, so this is JavaScript. It's not terrible. JavaScript isn't terrible. You can look at JavaScript. Now there's things going on here, but if we really broke it down, you could see what was happening and you'd understand it. So what game is this? As I scroll through this code, are you thinking to yourself, hey, I think I know what this is. We got a ball, we got paddle 1, we got paddle 2. I know you're already screaming at me. It's Pong. We can move. When we hit the left key, paddle 1 goes left. Oh, we turn this into 2-player. That's what happened here. When you hit the A key, paddle 2 goes left. I'm gonna rearrange this because we're not there yet. This looks like I didn't delete it from the last presentation I did. Okay, so let's prove that this game is Pong. So let me open it in the browser. That code creates this game. Now the paddles move in unison. We have this ball, it's keeping score. Pretty cool, huh? I think it's pretty boring. So we have a boring game. So at this point, I open it up to the audience and I say, give me ideas. Let's tinker with this code. What would make this better? And this part's really fun because we get to code right in front of their eyes and I make mistakes and they yell at me, and you can see that, hey, coding and talking at the same time is tricky. That's why when you're a coder, they hide in their room, so no distractions. But I take ideas from the audience, and it looks like last time we wanted independent paddles, different colors, a game over, function angles. I have no idea what that meant at that time. Explodes, faster ball. So these were all ideas from the crowd. The kids, I like to call them the kids, they're throwing out these ideas. Multiple balls. So then we'll take one. Okay, let's take multiple balls. We want multiple balls in the game. So you have to start breaking it down, and you have to ask a couple questions. When? How? Where? The questions that you usually ask your kids when they're about to leave the house. When are you leaving? Where are you going? How are you going to get there? Same thing in coding. We're asking that exact same thing. Okay, so we have this ball. When do we want it to happen? Let's say we want it to happen every second. Okay, how do we want to do that? Well, there's a timer in coding called a set interval function. That's not even how you do it. See, I already made my first mistake. Set interval function. And a set interval function, math is important in coding. They get to do their math. I typed in 1,000. This is milliseconds. How many milliseconds in a second? You're always dealing with milliseconds when you're in coding. So this would happen every second. Now in coding, we don't like to rewrite all our code. We're going to copy paste. So we copy and paste this, and we understand what this is because we've gone through the lessons, and we say, well, I don't want a soccer ball. Can't remember the other images we have. Maybe we have a spike. So we're going to say every second a new ball comes out. And if we hit refresh, here we go. Every second a new ball comes out. And we notice that it is going in the same direction, and this thing starts going crazy because you can't keep up. But at least there's more to look at in this game. This is the type of stuff we like our students to do. How do you make it 2-player? How do you make a game over? We show them how to do a game over. How do you make the paddles move independent? So a simple game like Pong starts spawning these ideas, and we want them to go for it. Mess up the game. There's quizzes and tests where we can see how you're doing. You're going to upload your game so we can see it, give you feedback, but we don't want the same game every time. We want people to mess around with it. So here we have a ball. Now you know it was going in the same direction every time. We could push it in a different direction. We'd have to do some random numbers. That's where it gets fun with math. If you like math and you like abstract, logical math, it gets fun. Let's generate some crazy random number, and if it's greater than this value, then this happens. Otherwise, this happens. And so you can start to do fun events, and that's why I like coding, is the kids can get some instant gratification from what they write. That's why JavaScript's a great language, and they're going to get ideas that we want to feed and have them create. And I don't care what they're creating. It could be something, we get some strange stuff, but that's fine. We want their creative brain working because it all is going to boil down to logic and understanding how the computer works. Okay, this is usually the longest segment of my conversation or my presentation, and the kids like to see the score start going crazy with all the balls in there. But doing it online, I realized that this is a shorter section, and that's okay. Because you guys can hit us up on chat. I want you to be able to ask us any questions. Oh man, we're going to hustle back to where we were. I guess it didn't save it, and I'm a coder. I'm not always know how to use all this technology. Okay, so here we go. We just tinkered, and that's going to be a process during when they're doing coding. It's so important. If let's say you're doing another company's coding, you already have a coding program, or they're on Khan Academy, they need to edit stuff. It's just so valuable. And I'm going to talk about what comes next after that. But first, what's a computer language? Some people say, I want to learn how to code, and then they're bombarded with questions. What do you want to learn? Java, C++, C, JavaScript, Python, Lua, Unity, all this stuff. There's a million of them. There are a lot of languages. JavaScript, Python, Java, HTML, CSS. That's what we teach. And there's a reason behind it. And that's not to say these other languages are bad, because they absolutely are not. But we have to work within a school system. And so we want something that we don't have to install, so we don't have to deal with the IT guy. JavaScript is awesome for that. You're up and running. Python is just a valuable language because it teaches you great habits, forces you, or else your code won't work. And then Java is what the AP computer science test would test them in. So if you have a student who wants to dive into coding and they maybe want to get some college credit out of it, it's going to ask them, that test is given in Java, written in Java. So you have to know Java in order to do the computer science test. So we teach JavaScript, Python, and Java. These other languages are fantastic. Now we also happen to choose very popular languages. JavaScript, so there is a company called GitHub where everybody uses it. In the lessons, they're going to use GitHub. And people upload their code open source so that you can look at it. And this is based on GitHub repositories. So JavaScript is the most. And then Ruby, wonderful language. Oh, I thought I had another slide. I guess not. Because Java's, it doesn't matter. We're not going to go into that. Java's a great language, tons of jobs for that. JavaScript, Google and Facebook have just taken hold of it and built so many cool frameworks. And then Python is making a comeback. Python is valuable because it forces great habits.